Hello and welcome to my easy to understand guide to the Emeli Sande music video, Heaven. I'm going to focus on media language and representation within this video. This video is going to be particularly relevant for you if you are studying OCR A-level media studies, as it appears as one of the optional set music videos on that specification. The establishing shots of kind of clouds and sunsets or sunrises here make it feel quite heavenly. We see Emeli Sande in the window and it's kind of a low angle. It makes her feel like the focus and the star of this music video. We see lots of close-ups of her here. There are some quite short, fleeting images of different people within this music video. So we see a woman in a red dress, which perhaps kind of is quite a sexualized image. We see an image of somebody in a blue hoodie. We see an old man. So there's quite a lot of diversity in terms of age and gender and ethnicity here. And I guess that adds to this representation of the kind of British area, the British town or city that she's in, as being quite diverse and rich and cosmopolitan. Lots of low angles of Emeli Sande here create this idea of her being very powerful. The lens flares and the kind of angelic light behind her are almost religious in style. The urban setting is quite kind of realist and natural in style. So there's lots of images of kind of distressed or graffitied buildings, tower blocks, roads, traffic crossings, urban scrubland. So it's kind of quite distressed, quite working class, quite everyday, quite real. This is not a kind of glamorous studio setup. It definitely gives the impression of this being kind of a social realist and quite low budget music video. The red jacket on the girl here, combined with the image of the graffitied wings behind her, makes her seem quite powerful and also kind of almost like a religious figure. And this religious imagery is added to when we see Emeli Sande clasping her hands together as though she is praying. We see rosary beads. We even see somebody holding a cross and walking through the town with a cross. So there's a lot of religious imagery within this video, perhaps adding to themes of religion, God, heaven, hell, and judgment perhaps as well. Coupled with this religious imagery, we also get lots of viewpoints of the sky, clouds, blue skies, grey skies, looking up, low angles. And I suppose that links in with this theme of heaven for the title and encourages us to look beyond the city, encourages us to see that there is more to life than the town. There are some shots of a tunnel with light at the end, literally a light at the end of the tunnel, which again, I guess adds to this theme of heaven, linking into the title of the song. There's quite a lot of abstract imagery as well. So, there's stained glass windows and there's some abstract lights. And then we see a couple that are embracing. There's a mother and a baby. There's no real clear narrative going on here at all. And I guess a lot of music videos are a bit more symbolic and surreal and montage based now. And what that does is it leaves the meaning of the music video kind of open to interpretation. It's not giving you a clear narrative. It's giving you more of a kind of montage that lets you come up with your own meaning. But the fact that we're seeing people hugging, we're seeing mothers with children, we're seeing images of crosses and churches and cathedrals, there's definitely a religious theme and there's definitely some kind of messages about perhaps life and death going on. Although Emeli Sande is pictured in black in quite strong, powerful poses throughout the video, we also see her in these shots here with lots of pink flowers and florals in kind of a garden area, which is a much more typically feminized representation. We get a woman dancing in a white dress here, which adds to this sense of kind of purity and innocence and angelic nature. And again, we see children here as well, which add that sense of innocence and youth as well. We get the darker imagery, which is more serious, the close-up of the lighter being exchanged. There's a man on the floor, which suggests perhaps an involvement in drugs. There's a person under a blanket, which acts as a signifier that they may be homeless. So there's a combination of both the dark sides of the street, the dark side of British life, along with the kind of positives and the hopeful and the more kind of optimistic side of things. I guess the appeal of the representations of realism and ethnicity, diversity, both positive and negative, is that people often do quite like this realistic representation. It feels more relatable to a lot of audiences and it's going to be quite familiar to audiences. Some audiences are really going to like the fact that there's quite a lot of diversity within the video in terms of gender or ethnicity, for example. Sometimes people from black backgrounds often aren't represented in the media or are underrepresented. And so the inclusion of quite a diverse cast of extras within the kind of performance and narrative may be quite appealing. Of course, the realism style also fits in with the fact that it's quite a low budget music video. And it also fits in with the kind of genre of music as well. So this kind of like 90s hybrid of like house and drum and beat music, but also including orchestra. It's quite an odd mishmash of music that was around at the time. And the style was often quite kind of melancholic and sad, but also with some positive overtones or undertones as well. So I guess the kind of slightly dark, more serious representations are reflective of that kind of genre of music. So that was my easy to understand guide to the Emeli Sande music video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for other videos that are going to be relevant for you. And if you would like a video that I don't already have, just leave a little comment below and I'll see what I can do.